Okay. Okay.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Apologies for the fact that I am not well, because I know you were looking forward to seeing him. But unfortunately, Will Dorrington, our CTO, is really poorly today. So I just took over this presentation because we felt like it's not a good idea to potentially postpone it because we are talking about important stuff and rules that are going to come into effect fairly soon. So I know there are a few of you online already. Please note that this will be recorded, so you're going to be able to play it back or like share it with your teams. Please also note that this is a live Teams event, so that means that you won't be able to ask questions live, but you do have a Q&A section, and my colleagues are gonna sort of stop me mid-flow, and I'm just gonna try and answer your questions as we go along. Like I said, this is all recorded, and yeah, I hope that it's gonna be really useful for you. A bit about me, my name is Anna Demeny. I am the Central Government Solutions Director for Kerv Digital. So just filling in for Will Dorrington, who's our CTO on this particular presentation. We're gonna go on, I believe, for 45 minutes. My deck is really around 30 minutes. And I fully appreciate that the whole content is slightly confusing. It was confusing for everybody in the Microsoft ecosystem, let's just say. So, any question goes. So today we're going to talk about Power Automate. What is it? I'm sure you know what it is because you're here and you're probably using it a lot within your business, but you may not know that some Power Automate flows are actually used outside of the Power Platform. So I'm just here to sort of point those things out as well. We're going to talk about the flow enforcement and what is this? It sounds pretty scary, but rest assured that we have a solution for it in essence. We're gonna go to point 3 and see who and what does this affect, and then our approach for remediation and monitoring of any of your components that may be affected so far. So first of all, here we are Kerv Digital, part of Kerv Group. We've been part of Kerv Group since 2021, and we are part of a bigger family, a wider family that specializes in all sorts of IT capabilities. You may know us as Kerv Digital, and what we do is we specialize in digital transformation across all sorts of sectors, such as transport, central government, membership, not-for-profit, and commercial as well. What we do is we look at technology overall and try and bring efficiency to your specialties. We hold the right badges that Microsoft would expect us to. We're really involved in the Microsoft community, and we've got the right designations as well. Other parts of Kerv Group are experience just for contact centers, compliance as a specialist in multi-channel communication and governance, Kerv Transform for cloud infrastructure, Kerv Connect for networking and cybersecurity, and Kerv Consult for experts in alignment with regards to business outcomes and technology strategy investments. I sort of whisked through this because you are, I assume you are on this webinar because you sort of know who we are. So what is it that we actually do? We sort of ensure that our customers are correctly digitally enabled. So we covered all sorts of technologies from business applications, so that's Power Platform, Dynamics 365, to custom software development, because we know any problem cannot always be solved just by Power Platform and Dynamics 365. So we're experts of integrating these services with data, and we do rely heavily on experience design, user research, and UI, and everything can be connected within Azure technologies, providing a very healthy application lifecycle management as well. We are here today to talk about Power Automate specifically because this is the bit that's going to be affected by the new enforcements. Power Automate comprises at this point in time of digital automation and also robotic process automation as well. It is this low-code approach to automation, and it can really connect to a variety of services within Microsoft and outside of Microsoft as well. So we have over 1,500, I want to say, pre-built connectors that are able to be used within our business applications scenarios, but also we covered just simple automations as well, such as sending an email, doing a push notification on your phone, and everything is really, no matter how complex, it is governed, and it abides through very clear security rules as well. When we're done digitally transforming any of your services, so when we deal with, on-premises services or highly complex secured automation, such as, we need to go through a Citrix gateway, or we need to integrate with an SAP program, things of that nature, normally we can involve, pro-code development as well as RPA if we need it. So, in short, what we're creating is accelerated innovation with low code. So we are able to, using this Microsoft platform, we are able, as you probably know, to bring innovation and digital transformation within your organization, faster, more secured, and to break away some of the silos that you may have. Now, that probably all sounds very familiar to you, but you should know that we can find Power Automate pretty much everything. So on this slide, you see sort of like a journey, maybe of an individual going through, customer-facing website using Power Pages, and then we go on to our workforce who are interacting with our processes using Power Apps, and maybe we have chatbots and AI, some sort of co-pilots are now embedded in any sort of application, from Power Apps to any first-party apps that you may be using. All of the data goes into Dataverse and is streamlined there, and then we're able to provide, analytics with business intelligence. Now, the interest obviously with Power BI and other tools as well. The interesting bit here is that we can now see that Power Automate is more or less in all of these applications. So Power Automate will be used relative to maybe Power Pages, but also with Power Apps, with first-party applications, and just with Azure services, just with, SQL Server, or a flow that would trigger some sort of Oracle processes, stuff like that. This is where things come to be a little bit more complicated, and this is where some of those enforcement will affect your processes potentially. So why did this happen? It's because Microsoft has the most complex licensing guide in the history of the world, in my opinion. Everything is really very hard out of desire to empower everyone to achieve more. These tools can be used pretty much everywhere. So the new licensing guides are sort of trying to add contextuality to Power Automate flows, which will allow Microsoft to do better tracking, provide, better servicing, analyze our processes and our automation better. And there's a whole load of benefits that come from the fact that we have the need to organize our flows a little bit better. But that does mean that whatever is not up to scratch will be suspended, which means Microsoft is gonna come and have a look at your flows and just turn them off. They will not go away, they will not disappear, they will not be broken any more than they already are, if they are, but they will be turned off. And you could probably see that from your day-to-day processes, sometimes. We've tried to put together all of the flows that will be affected because when looking at the Microsoft website, it sort of says new Power Automate flow enforcements are coming into play, but then you cannot really see a full-on list that tells you exactly what's going to happen. In fact, you need to go to the FAQ section to learn a bit more. So this very wordy table, which I'm pretty sure you've taken a screenshot of right now, tells you what are the flows that are going to be affected. You probably noticed that some of your automation has already been turned off. For example, if you had any sort of premium flows that were run by, that guy called John, who was like an expert within his field, but now he's left the organization, no longer a user, no longer licensed, that flow has been turned off already. Yeah, so that's if the flow owner doesn't exist within your organization anymore, or they don't have a premium license so therefore to run a flow anymore, then those flows cannot be turned on. If your premium flows aren't triggered by a Power App, so this is where the contextuality thing comes into play. If your flows sort of do data cleansing, let's just say, but they're not triggered or they're not seen within the context of an app, those flows are going to be turned off. If you don't have if you have a premium license within your organization, you don't have this problem, right? So either Power Apps or any sort of Dynamics 365 first-party app license, that will automatically allow you to run all of your flows within the organization. But again, if these connectors are outside of your actual applications, then they will be turned off. And I guess this is the biggest change that we're going to see starting on March 13, 2024. And then finally, and probably the most controversial change of them all are service principal flows. So for a long time, it has been best practice, is probably still is best practice to have a non-interactive user run your flows for you. And then you have the service user working through all of your environments, right? Dev, UAT pre-production, production, however many environments you've got. And this service user is running your flows because obviously you want to be able to employ a strong CI/CD pipeline or application lifecycle management. So you don't want the same person being the owner within your various environments. Where up until now, and even now, those flows work no problem. However, if these flows are not within the context of Dynamics 365, like I said, so if they're not triggered by an event within Dataverse in your Dynamics 365, then you're gonna have to have a per flow license for these flows, and the per flow licenses are in the process of being changed as well. So more on that you can find out on the licensing guide, and by reaching out to us. But the point is you're gonna have to license those flows separately, because we don't always want a flow to be directly connected to a record within a Power App or a Dynamics 365. It's perfectly fine to have a service account run these flows, but we do need to license them. Now, this may look a bit scary, or if not scary, for sure confusing. Especially because this will affect not just Power Platform, Power Automate flows, but also any sort of Azure flows that you trigger, or Microsoft 365. So you go onto your teams and you have a bunch of flows for your productivity, scenarios. Or you do have a legit Power Platform license, but your flows are not run within the context of that license, like I said before, or Dynamics 365. So pretty much everything is getting affected if the Power Automate flows are not run the way Microsoft wants them to be run, starting March, but then August for the service flows. And you may have many types of automations within your organization. So you can have like productivity solutions for individuals or groups of people, or you can have like pretty important solutions as well that do provide assistance to business processes, and many teams are actually using them, but in effect business can continue without them, even though certain operations will be affected and you may have to do some more manual steps again. But essentially we are having this webinar right now because we believe that some of the critical solutions will be potentially affected, and these are pretty important to business continuity. So these are the solutions that we would tackle first. If you are a customer of ours and we have like an ongoing project with a bunch of flows, you mustn't worry. Obviously, we're going to look at these things, and we're going to make sure everything is compliant. I'm pretty sure everything will be compliant just by the nature of how we do things. We do make sure that we create flows that are within the context of an app, or that are correctly licensed. However, when you do have Power Platform, as you know, everyone sort of has access to Power Platform. So maybe some individuals are creating their own solutions, and if those are not encapsulated properly, then it is possible that some of your solutions may be affected. So this is why we are sort of here today. We do have an approach to remediation. So, and there are tools, by the way. Microsoft, maybe I should have started with that. Microsoft is giving us tools. There's a sort of like a partial pack that you can run yourself that produces a report of non-compliant flows. Please make sure that these scripts are being run within each environment, because obviously flows can be run by a different user in one environment to the next. So it's important that you have reports of non-compliant flows for all of your environments for a clear picture. Once you've got that, you're going to be able to address urgent priority solution first. And, you're going to be able to assess, oh, should I buy a per flow license for this particular flow? Is it actually that important to me? Should I actually connect it to, would it be useful for my organization to just connect it to my Dataverse record or to my Power App? What should I do next? And these are things that we can obviously help with. But if you just want to run all of these things yourself, feel free to reach out. Those are the packs that Microsoft provide as well. But we did the groundwork for you and sort of went on the internet and assembled everything together so that you can run all of your commands and these packs to get a good picture of what's going to happen. Now, if you don't want to go through all that hassle, which is perfectly understandable, it can sound complicated. It is quite a tedious process. We can absolutely help you out here. We would run obviously the same packs that Microsoft give us, but the thing is, we do have specialists who have already done this, so it's like super quick. We can assist you in, finding out what's the best alternative for you, what sort of licensing should you go next, or in fact, is your licensing just perfectly fine and you're all good. And we'll also ensure future monitoring to make sure that whatever you create is not gonna become non-compliant. This being said, Microsoft has their own, obviously they have enforcement rules, so they will turn off your flows, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be able to create them. And on the Microsoft provides sort of like a roadmap page on Microsoft, on learn.microsoft.com, and they give you a table where they tell you how long does it take until your flows are going to be turned off. So it is possible that you will create a flow that works, and that will just be turned off after 14 days. So it's really good to have future monitoring in place to make sure that doesn't happen to you. The reason why Microsoft would do that is not because they're evil, but because they want to give you the ability to test your automation before you actually want to connect it to something. So it does make sense, or before you want to license it, etc., etc. So we do have a plan on how we would do this. Within 5 to 10 days, we would create an assessment. So we would, draw a contract and sign some work, and then we'll have a team in place to start your assessment using the tooling that Microsoft is giving us, and then they're gonna provide you with all of their findings and suggestions on what you should do about it. Because once again, this can be so confusing. Like if you go on the internet and try and find out flow, just new flow enforcement rules, you're gonna see that people have started talking about this in August 2023. And there are diverging opinions because no one really knows so far, because the information is not necessarily unclear, but scattered all over the place. So if you don't want to go through all that hassle, you can just have us do it for you. Now, in general, if you do want to have a future-proof type of situation within your organization, it is very important to have a healthy ecosystem. At Kerv Digital, we can enable your, cloud ecosystem by using all of the tools available, in fairness to, to everyone, but in a way that lowers the challenges that you may have through, rapid innovation, through high-end, security and governance. We use proper user journeys fed by experienced user researchers, and we do user design and pathways to make sure that you have the highest adoption possible within your organization, and that your processes are streamlined as much as possible. We make sure that all of that work is compliant and actually flows through environments so that you have a chance to test all of your work first, and then promote it step by step as you deem rightly. We do always say data is first, especially with the use of AI right now. We do take care of our data. We look at data sources. We have multiple ways of integrating your data across organizations. We make sure that, all of your data is consistent through data policies, that everything means the same in all of your environments and all of your applications, and that you can actually make full use of your data. And after we've done all of this, we can create, and we have created already, reusable components that can accelerate your business, and your reusable sets of data are going to be governed through a specialized set of tooling. Now, the moment you use business applications, everyone talks about makers. So we look at your organization, and we have specific plans to train and engage your makers within the business. Them being specialists in types of in their day job, or pro developers, or your own IT team, and so on and so forth. We're going to help you come up with an innovation backlog and see what's your best next action in order to provide the best potential business outcomes. I've talked about ALM before, application lifecycle management, very, very important in how we, collaborate and are able to keep business applications together with pro-code development, together with connectors throughout the Microsoft estate and outside of it, under, order and guard, so that we don't go crazy like in the Wild West. So all of these things are things that we do for organizations, and if you need any of that, and if your flows are affecting any of that, you can reach out to us. If there are any questions in the Q&A, I am happy to take any questions.
No questions thus far, Anna.
Okay, fabulous. Well, if there are no questions right now, that's not a problem. I'm pretty sure we will follow up on this presentation, and if there's anything that you could think of that you would like to ask us about, we are here to assist. We're also gonna, I assume, send this recording to everyone, so that's it for me. It's a bit awkward to be presenting to my own screen with no sort of, feedback. So sorry if this was boring for everyone, but I am hoping that it was informative.
Anna, can I just ask, sorry, and it may have been something that's covered, or just a reminder, so when do the actual changes come into place?
Well, some of the changes have come into place already. For example, so before you could do everything with Flow. You could have a Flow failing forever in a day. We would have suspended flows forever. Well, now Microsoft sort of regulates those and they turn them off if they fail. You may have seen that as early as October last year, I think. So step-by-step regulations are coming in, but the biggest enforcements, the ones that are prone to hit us right now, are the ones related to flows within a context of a Power App or a first-party app. And those enforcements are going to come into effect on the 13th of March this year. So less than a month away.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else?
Just giving it a second, just see if there's anybody
Sure.
asking anything. But again, as Anna said, if there is anything you do want to reach out, please do get in touch with myself, Anna, or the team. We will drop an email address in and probably a feedback form as well at the back of this as well. But yeah, if there's anything that comes up, please do ask the question. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, we'll probably end it there.
Thank you very much. Great.